Warm greetings. This is Jim Meredith with a webcast for Tomorrow's World. I recently watched an episode of NCIS, which is one of the most popular television shows that's on the CBS network. The last couple of years, this drama series has been rated the #1 and 2 most watched series in all of America, and it's estimated by TV Guide that over 20 million Americans watch this show each week. Just for the record, I'm not here to condone or condemn watching this show, but based on the massive viewership, it is obvious that this show has quite an impact on many people who tune in each week to watch, and Hollywood knows this. If there's an agenda to push, NCIS is a prime place to push it, and push it they did this week. In the episode that just aired a couple of nights ago, the main theme was about finding the killer of a Navy lieutenant who was up for the Medal of Honor. As the storyline goes, it was while on duty in Afghanistan that the lieutenant had thrown himself on a hand grenade and saved the lives of some of his fellow soldiers. Somehow he had survived the blast and was back home in the United States, where he was murdered. In real life, this type of person would definitely be considered a hero, but that wasn't really what this program was about. The real message of this story was not of a Navy hero, but of an openly homosexual Navy lieutenant that was married to another man. The main characters on NCIS are primarily strong, good-looking, heterosexual men. Yet they don't even bat an eye when they meet the husband of the dead lieutenant. Throughout the remainder of this episode, the homosexual agenda is constantly being promoted as being right, totally acceptable, and normal, and anyone who doesn't feel that way is an evil hater. And probably most of the 20+ million people watching this show had no big problem with what was being portrayed and promoted. On the NCIS page of CBS's website, the one person that posted a negative comment about the homosexual content was immediately bashed by numerous others as being a poor thing with petty social issues. Really? America, Canada, and many of you people in this confused world are frogs. You are like the metaphorical frog that's sitting in the pot of water on the stove. As the water's very slowly heated up, the frog adapts to it and enjoys the warmth of it. But ultimately that frog will boil to death because he doesn't realize the danger he's in until it's too late. Some of you watching this may be thinking, this moron is just another homophobe, as you reach for your mouse and click to another web page. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not a homophobe because I don't fear homosexuals, nor do I hate them, which is what that word means. But on the other hand, I do hate homosexuality, just as the great God who made us does. He is the same God that said in Leviticus 18 verse 22, "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination." And then in Leviticus 20 and verse 13, he said, "If a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination." Is the God who spoke these words a homophobe? Many today like to think the Old Testament was nailed to the cross and done away with by a kinder, gentler, more loving Jesus Christ. Yet most of them don't realize that Jesus Christ was the one who spoke those words recorded in Leviticus. In John chapter 1, verses 1 to 3, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through Him, and without Him nothing was made that was made." In other words, He is the creator of everything. And then in verse 14 it identifies who the Word is, and it says, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory." The Word was Jesus Christ, and He was the one who spoke the words we read in Leviticus. Did He come to earth to destroy the law that He had given and made binding? In Matthew 5 verse 1, He says He didn't. He says, "Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill." And this word fulfill means to complete, to make full, or to fully preach. My friends, please understand that God's laws are just as relevant and binding today as they were when He gave them to Moses thousands of years ago. This homosexual agenda that is being forced on society today is evil, and God hates it. Even the Apostle Paul addressed this issue in the New Testament when he said in Romans 1, verses 24 to 28, likening people who engage in such activities as having a debased mind. God's word is clear about what He thinks about homosexuality. Does it mean more to you that the President of the United States accepts it as being right and good? If the Supreme Court makes a ruling this summer legalizing same-sex marriages, will you believe it's right and good? After all, you don't want to be viewed as a hater by your friends, do you? I have one simple question to ask you today. What's more important to you? How your family, your friends, and neighbors view you as a person? Or how God views you? Jesus said in John chapter 14 and verse 15, "If you love me, keep my commandments." Do you really love Jesus? It's by our actions that we show Him whether or not we really do love Him. If you want to learn more about those commandments, please go to our website, www.tomorrowsworld.org, and download a copy of our booklet appropriately titled The 10 Commandments. There is much more information, articles, booklets, and videos on biblical and news topics on this website as well. You may also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching our Tomorrow's World webcast.